Do you yearn for the most fulfilling life possible? The majority believe that true happiness stems from ceaseless striving, the pursuit of success, the shouldering of responsibilities, and surrounding oneself with a multitude of people. Yet, the truth underlying a better existence lies in shedding what no longer serves you. Consider this: how much of your stress, fatigue, and disappointment is silently eroded by certain elements? These could be toxic habits, negative relationships, or meaningless distractions. They clutter your mind and hinder you on your journey to becoming the best version of yourself. Stoic philosophy teaches that happiness resides not in possessing more, but in needing less. And that is precisely the theme we will explore together in this video. We will delve into 11 things you should quietly eliminate from your life. Elements that steal your peace, waste your time, and hold you captive. Once you detach from them, you'll be astonished by how much lighter, clearer, and stronger your life becomes. Therefore, if you are ready to embark on a path toward a simpler, more resilient, and meaningful way of living, let us begin. For sometimes, the most effective way to transform your life is not by doing more, but by learning to let go. First, free yourself from toxic relationships. The paramount thing you must quietly eliminate from your life is toxic people. We often hear the adage, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, yet many of us cling to relationships that drain us, limit our growth, or pull us away from the person we aspire to be. Why is this? Because letting go has never been easy. We hold on to the past, to memories, and to the illusion that old connections must dictate the future. However, the wisdom of Stoicism reveals that true strength lies not in stubbornly holding on, but in discerning when it is time to walk away. Stoics believe that the company we keep shapes our thoughts, our character, and ultimately our destiny. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Therefore, guard accordingly, and take care that you entertain no notions unsuitable to virtue and reasonable nature. If someone brings negativity, manipulation, or constant conflict into your life, they are not merely taking your time. They are stealing your peace, your clarity, and your capacity for growth. A wise person does not harbor chaos. They actively eliminate it. Yet many hesitate. They think, but we've been friends for so many years. They've helped me so much, or cutting someone off feels cruel. But the past cannot justify the present. If a relationship currently inflicts harm, Stoics believe in taking full responsibility for one's own well-being, and this includes the courage to curate your living environment. Stubbornly maintaining relationships that hinder you is akin to carrying a lifeless burden. The longer you hold on, the heavier it becomes. I once knew someone who struggled with this lesson. He had a childhood friend, once as close as a brother, but as they matured, their paths diverged. What was once supportive friendship gradually became toxic and competitive. This friend constantly made belittling remarks, dismissed his achievements, and injected negativity into every conversation. Despite this, he felt obligated to maintain the connection. "We've been friends for so long," he would tell himself. But then he recalled the teachings of Seneca, associate with people who are likely to improve you. He asked himself, is this friendship uplifting me, or is it weighing me down? The answer was starkly clear. Quietly, without drama or resentment, he stepped back, and almost instantly he felt lighter. That is why quiet elimination is so crucial. You do not need to announce your decision. You do not need to justify it to anyone. The more public you make it, the more you invite guilt, explanations, and unnecessary opinions. But when you act with silent conviction, you reclaim your power. You stop seeking permission to protect yourself. Letting go is not an act of cruelty, but an act of self-respect. Stoics understood that safeguarding one's energy is fundamental to a virtuous life. If someone makes you doubt yourself, drains your spirit, or fills your life with needless conflict, they do not belong in your future. Walk away without bitterness, without regret, and with the wisdom to recognize that true strength lies in the ability to let go. Number 2, overcoming the ghost of self-doubt. On the journey to conquering our goals, the moment self-doubt creeps into the mind is almost inevitable. It whispers like a subtle voice, sowing seeds of uncertainty about our abilities, our shortcomings, suggesting that perhaps we are chasing a dream too far-fetched. This self-doubt possesses a formidable power. It shackles our feet, hinders action, and pushes us further away from our true aspirations. The majority of motivational advice often encourages us to simply believe in ourselves. But in reality, when self-doubt has taken deep root, blind faith sometimes becomes meaningless. Stoics approach this issue differently. Instead of denying or ignoring it, they use reason and logic to examine it. And when we take a step back, we often realize that doubt is not entirely unfounded. It exists because, in some aspect, we are not yet truly ready. If your goal is to become a millionaire but you have never even touched that amount of money, feeling insecure is completely natural. You simply do not yet possess the necessary skills, knowledge, or experience. Otherwise, you have already achieved it, and that is perfectly normal. Self-doubt is not the enemy. It is a signal, a guidepost indicating what you need to cultivate. Instead of forcing yourself into a false sense of confidence, shift your perspective. Imagine the 2.0 version of yourself, the person who has already conquered the goal you are striving for. Ask yourself what makes him capable, what skills he possesses, what mindset he operates with. List them out. And instead of merely pursuing the goal, focus on becoming that improved version of yourself. Each time you acquire a new skill, accumulate more experience, or cultivate discipline, you move closer to that person. And as you mature, self-doubt will naturally dissipate, not because you force yourself to be confident, but because you have built a competence that earns that belief. The most effective way to confront self-doubt is not to ignore it or let it paralyze you, but to use it as a guide, a reminder that growth is continuous. Instead of asking, "Why do I doubt myself?" ask, "What do I need to do to become someone who no longer doubts himself?" And then, step by step, build that person within you. Number 3, shedding the burden of resentment. Countless individuals silently carry the weight of grudges, often unaware of the extent of their burden. This resentment can be directed towards those who have caused them pain, towards past failures, or even toward a harsh self-reproach. Lodged deep within the psyche, resentment quietly shapes our thoughts, emotions, and actions in ways we seldom recognize. Though it may seem suppressible, it never truly vanishes. It smolders within, preventing us from attaining genuine inner peace. I understand this feeling intimately. For a significant period, I harbor resentment toward myself, constantly berating myself for mistakes, missed opportunities, and actions I wished I had taken differently. And I will not deny that hatred, when channeled correctly into ambition, can be a potent motivator. It can propel you forward, grant you the energy to fight, and instill relentless perseverance in the pursuit of your goals. However, the stark truth is that hatred corrodes the soul. It may serve as fuel for a fleeting moment, but it is insidious poison that slowly erodes you from within. The Stoics profoundly understood this. Clinging to hatred, no matter how justified it may seem, is akin to drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. You cannot indefinitely harbor the flames of animosity in your heart. If allowed to burn for too long, it will consume you, disrupt your tranquility, and imprison you in a vicious cycle of negativity. This is why forgiveness is not a gift you bestow upon others, but a gift you grant yourself. It is not about condoning what transpired or pretending that pain did not exist, but rather about making a conscious choice not to allow the past to dictate your present any longer. The Stoics firmly believe that we should focus solely on what lies within our control, and one of the few things we always possess power over is our mindset and our capacity for letting go. Utilize your resentment constructively. If necessary, let it propel you towards growth. But once it has served its purpose, release it. Unburden yourself from its heavy weight. For in the end, forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but the ultimate display of strength, the key that unlocks inner peace, happiness, and true liberation. Number 4, escaping the confines of comparison. Have you ever considered how the seemingly vibrant virtual world of social media subtly plants seeds of anxiety and depression within us? Research from the University of Pennsylvania has revealed a sobering truth. Simply reducing screen time to a mere 30 minutes per day can significantly alleviate stress and enhance overall life satisfaction. The underlying cause lies in the disease of comparison, a silent virus that stealthily steals our joy. The more intently we observe the lives of others, the more susceptible we become to the abyss of discontent. Indeed, the majority of us unconsciously place ourselves on the scales of comparison with those around us, and this is precisely why we often feel stagnant and unfulfilled. Observing the actions of others is a natural human tendency, but comparison is a double-edged sword. It can ignite the desire for self-improvement, but it can also easily breed feelings of inadequacy, restlessness, and frustration. When our gaze becomes fixated on the paths of others, we inadvertently lose sight of the unique trajectory of our own journey. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, recognized this truth long ago. Marcus Aurelius wisely penned, "How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself." Instead of allowing our minds to become entangled in the progress of others, let us dedicate our full attention to our own personal growth. Each individual is a distinct entity, embarking on a unique path, and what resonates with one may not necessarily align with another. The very moment you cease the act of comparison, you will begin to appreciate each small step forward on your own distinct journey. It is crucial to clarify that comparison does hold a certain value within competitive environments. Whether on the sports field, the fierce marketplace, or any form of contest, it can serve as a powerful catalyst for continuous improvement. However, beyond these arenas, comparison often becomes meaningless, merely generating unnecessary stress and pressure. The true measure of success lies not in our position relative to others, but in reflecting upon our past selves and honestly asking, "Am I better today than I was yesterday?" Therefore, instead of endlessly scrolling to the curated highlights of other social media feeds, let us turn our gaze inward, cultivate our own unique skills, pursue our own intrinsic purpose, and strive to become the best version of ourselves. For, in the final analysis, the only person we truly need to compete with is the person we were yesterday. Number 5, guarding the sanctity of speech, avoiding gossip. We are living in an era where, at times, idle chatter and gossip seem to overshadow meaningful action and leadership. Conversations that should be fertile ground for ideas and noble purposes are too often tainted by whispers of judgment. At first glance, gossip may appear harmless, yet it is one of the most destructive habits a person can cultivate. Consider this. When you speak ill of another, you are subtly assassinating their character. While you may not be taking their life, you are certainly damaging their reputation, polluting how others perceive them, and contributing to a negative cycle that benefits no one. The Stoics place a high value on self-mastery, not only in our deeds but also in our words. Epictetus wisely cautioned that our speech reflects our very being. To gossip is a manifestation of insecurity, pettiness, and a lack of self-discipline. It is seeking cheap amusement in the flaws of others rather than focusing on the crucial task of self-improvement. A person who readily speaks negatively of others often does so to deflect attention from their own shortcomings. Negative words spread with the speed and destructiveness of wildfire, and once uttered, they can never be fully retracted. A simple test before you speak. Would I want these words spoken about me? If the answer is a resounding no, then hold your tongue. A strong individual builds, while a weak one tears down. Which will you choose to be? Even when those around you engage in gossiping, resist the urge to join them. Instead, seek out the company of those who value positivity, honesty, and meaningful dialogue. A person should use their word to uplift, to teach, and to strengthen, not to belittle others. By doing so, you contribute to a culture where respect and wisdom flourish, and you, in turn, become a person of genuine worth. Number 6, keep a smile on your journey to achievement. As you embark on the path to conquering your goals, discipline is the indispensable companion. Without focus as a guiding lighthouse, perseverance is an unceasing flow, and effort as tireless feet, success will forever remain a distant mirage. Yet, alongside the rigor of discipline, balance is a golden key that unlocks the door to a fulfilling life. You can wholeheartedly dedicate yourself to grand aspirations while still keeping the flame of joy, the sound of hearty laughter, and the simple moments of serene tranquility alive in your heart. If you allow every passing moment to be consumed by the obsession with productivity and self-improvement, you are pushing yourself towards the brink of exhaustion, losing the fire of passion, and transforming your life into an endless, wearying treadmill. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, deeply understood this truth. While they emphasized self-mastery and unwavering discipline, they also cherished the moments of living fully along the way. Seneca, the eminent philosopher, once taught, "Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us of the highest achievements if it were all well invested." This teaching is not merely about relentless hard work, but also the subtle art of recognizing when to push forward with all your might and when to pause, take a deep breath, and appreciate the beauty of each step. Laughter, like a cool, clear stream, soothes the tensions in joyful moments, like the warm rays of the sun, warm the soul, ignite a wellspring of energy, and keep the flame of motivation burning brightly within you. They embellish the journey of conquest with added delight, helping you avoid feeling lost in a never-ending cycle of work and self-improvement. It is easy to mistakenly believe that success demands relentless intensity, but the truth is that those who know how to savor each moment on the path are the ones who can persevere to the end. Hard work and discipline will be the wings that lift you to great heights, but if you do not allow your heart to resonate with the beauty of life, what are you truly striving for? Many fall into the error of thinking they will reward themselves with moments of relaxation and joy only when they reach their goals. But by then, they have inadvertently built a rigid mindset that values only productivity, neglecting the presence of the soul, making it difficult for them to ever truly feel complete happiness. There will be times when you need to be serious, highly focused, and unyielding. This is an indispensable part of the journey. But do not let life become so burdensome that you forget how to live, how to laugh, how to allow yourself to rest, and how to enjoy each passing moment. For success will become meaningless if you never pause to appreciate the simple things that make life rich and meaningful. Those who are truly wise and strong are those who know when to pour all their energy into their endeavors, but they also know when to take a step back, offer a radiant smile, and embrace the wondrous beauty of simply being alive. Number 7, severing the chains of the past. There are far too many individuals living under the shadow of the past, endlessly replaying in their minds old mistakes, lingering regrets, and opportunities that have slipped from their grasp. They fail to realize that the past is a closed book, existing only in their memories and thoughts. The sole reason to glance back is to extract valuable lessons, hard-earned experiences. Embrace those lessons, but once you have grasped what is necessary, boldly cast the past aside and step forward. The Stoics, with their profound insight, recognize that the past lies beyond our control, and constantly dwelling on regrets only robs us of the precious moments of the present. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor philosopher, wisely advised, "Do not let your mind dwell on what you have lost, but rather on what remains to you." If you continue to cling to what could have been, you will inadvertently miss the opportunities that still are unfolding before you. The most crucial moment in life is the present. You cannot turn back the hands of time, no matter how much you torment your mind. The only time you truly hold the power to change is this very moment, and only those who are lost in their thoughts would squander this invaluable gift by remaining trapped in what is already past. If you yearn for a life of greater fulfillment, dedicate your entire focus to the present. It is a wellspring of your latent power, the very place where all transformation begins. The past is merely a chapter that has already been written. So cease rereading the old pages and begin writing the new lines of your life story. I deeply value your shared journey and successes. Please click the subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss meaningful content, and leave a comment sharing your story, your achievements, and even the challenges you have bravely overcome. If you're unsure what to write, a simple "I like this" will let me know you've accompanied me to the end of this journey. Your sincere interaction will contribute to the growth of this community, together striving towards wisdom and the art transforming every difficulty into an opportunity for growth. And finally, I sincerely thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. If you find it helpful and meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support me in creating more quality content. Thank you very much.